Hey there, it's Christina, and I'm in my home office this weekend, and I'm going through some boxes, doing some spring cleaning, and finding a lot of different things from my corporate career, and it's just bringing back memories. And before I put this stuff back in the box, I just wanted to do like a video, sort of like a little mini documentary and diary entry about me and like who I was, former versions of myself, and what skills I've accrued and, bring to my entrepreneurial ventures, and yeah, just my path, my journey. And I've done so much, and I've really never articulated it very well or captured it, even though I've saved it. It's like all in paper and boxes, and yeah, I'm just trying to really make it digital, like digitize it for myself and anybody else who might want to see. Alright, so in 2004, I was a principal consultant with Oracle in Reston, Virginia, and everybody knows about Oracle. They're, databases, right? And also the application servers. And when I was there, we were using Oracle 9 IIS, and that means Oracle Application Server version 9. And we were just moving to 10G. I think they're on 11G now. I'm making this video in 2014. But anyway, I've lost track. But when I was there in 2004, we were just moving to 10G and migrating, and obviously that means that we're going to be migrating our clients to that. Thousands of them worldwide that had the 9 IIS implementation now needed to be, moved to 10G. I mean, not urgently, but eventually, because over time, this is what software companies do, they retire software and the support for it, and it becomes obsolete, so it kind of forces people to upgrade. And you're given like a year or two, advance notice, and to have a migration path. And of course, the consultants internally, like myself, needed to learn 10G so that we could help the clients. So, all right, well, this was my business card. I worked in the healthcare practice area. I did a lot of implementations for DoD healthcare, and that included TRICARE. So I took the classes and I got these certificates. So this one here was for building corporate portals. It was 10G. Did this one in July 2004. And corporate portals, that's like the intranet. Like that's the company's like internal internet. It's sort of like bound and private. It's not publicly facing. It's out of the public domain. And then this one here is Oracle 10G Enterprise Identity Management. And if you might remember when we introduced single sign-on, so you would just sign on once, and then you'd be logged into all the applications in the application suite. And it's just managing, usernames, passwords, permission matrix, what they had, the ability to view or edit, and stuff like that, administrative roles. And then later, we also I've been part of many dual-factor authentications, implementations of dual-factor authentication, and that is more robust security, at least at the time, where the person who wanted to gain access to the system had to have two credentials: a password, which is something they know, and then a second thing, token, either something they have or something they are, something they physically have or something they physically are. So it could be like a token or their cell phone, which we would send a code, an alphanumeric code to. And something that they are would be the use of biometrics, like a retinal scan or a fingerprint, things like that. So identity management has to do a lot with security, administration and security of the systems. And then this one, let's see, This one was July 2004, and this is just for the application server itself, being able to administer it on the 10G. So that was Oracle in the year 2004. Let me just set this aside. And then in 2005, being a senior business analyst, you absolutely will be doing use cases as part of software development lifecycle. When you're gathering requirements, you're going to manage them, articulate them, write them, and diagram them with use cases. So I already knew a lot about use cases and UML and stuff like that, but I took this class and just got more proficient with it. Got the certification from Number 6 Software in July 2005. So that's that. Then there was this white paper from Telelogic about, again, best practices when gathering requirements, and this was in November 2006. Structuring them, managing them, visualizing them. We would do diagrams with Visio, making sure they're testable so that once they're implemented they can be tested to see if they satisfy the requirement and that we can get user acceptance on them. Bridging the chasm between business and development. Yes, the business analyst is the liaison between the stakeholders, the organizational stakeholders, and as you know, they all come from with their own vantage point in the organization as far as the things that they need and the priorities that are most important to them. And they speak a different language than the application development team. I mean, that's very technical guys that are doing the programming. So as an intermediary, you're able to speak both languages and bridge that communication. And by the way, now that I'm doing a lot of internet marketing and I see a lot of, really industry leaders creating software and they're outsourcing their software development. They might have someone here domestically or they are outsourcing it to another country. They probably are trying to save money, or maybe they don't even know, but they don't usually have a business analyst in between. They're talking directly to their developers. And I can tell you that some of the leading companies and just don't do that. It's not best practice. You really do need a savvy, sophisticated business analyst in between you and your stakeholders, which would be your customers and your application development team. And this means desktop apps or mobile apps. Because if you're talking directly to your developers, I can promise you this project is going to have scope creep. It is going to go on longer than you expected, and there's going to be a lot of miscommunication about what you wanted and what they thought you wanted, and it's probably going to cost you a lot of time and more money. But if you seek out somebody who's a business analyst to help you in between there, you're going to have a more successful project, and that's what all the big companies do, and that is also part of CMMI certification and really, reducing risk on projects and having repeatable methodologies and assuring quality and things like any young entrepreneur that's thinking about doing an app, mobile app or a desktop app. Contact me and we can talk, because it's really important to be able to articulate, write and diagram what your requirements are. You skip this step, you're really going to spend months and months and months of frustration with your developers. And part of it is your fault because you're not being clear and you're new at it. So anyway, there's a lot to this. I mean, this is a discipline. This is definitely a business skill. So this is what makes a good requirement, some attributes of good requirements, structuring, managing. Just give you a little overview here. Visualizing, that's where you use Visio. You have your sequence of events that happen and decision trees, decision diamonds. Change control. You have to they're always subject to change. Once you take it back to the customer, that's not exactly what they envisioned, and they'll tell you they want something different. So you have to manage change. Yeah. Oh, and this is just like, reuse. So once you make something, you might be able to reuse it. So you want to keep do the source code in such a way that that's possible. All right, probably spent too much time on that. In 2007, March of 2007, I went to Learning Tree in Reston Town Center to do modeling and graphic diagramming. And you're probably like, what is that? Well, the thing is, back then there were a lot of companies that still had a lot of manual business processes in their business. So there's this idea of business process engineering and business process automation. And of course, we do that, ubiquitously now in 2014. And a lot of people do it with Infusionsoft. You want to automate your business processes, at least the ones that are eligible for automation. Like, there's some things that still need the human touch, but there are definitely things that you can automate to improve operational efficiency. And this is basically setting up those flows, the business process workflow, and, configuring it, telling the system based on X, Y, and Z, do this. Like, it's if-then conditional logic, and oftentimes it's behavioral based, and you just set it up and things can run automated without you, and you can focus on other things in your business that require the human touch, that require human attention, or it even just, it frees you up to do anything, whether it's something leisurely with your family or another business. So business process automation is so important, and business intelligence and responding to what being agile enough to be responsive to what your customers are doing. So I definitely recommend Infusionsoft, their campaign builder. You can build all this out, the logic. You can think about how you want your business process workflow to go, what you want automated under what conditions, and you can achieve a high degree of specificity. And I've been doing this for a number of years, and I got this certification in 2007. I was doing it before that, but then I always try to stay current, so I did that. And this is a business analyst bootcamp that I went to. Again, you're like, what is a business analyst? What do they do? Here are some of the things. And this is how I went from being a business analyst to a senior business systems analyst, because you just get better and better the longer you master your craft. These are some of the things that are in the workshop, if you can see that. What else? I should really set this up on a tripod. It's hard to hold this and do this at the same time. I'm sorry for it being a little blurry and bouncy. So, enterprise analysis, business cases, project, elicitation. There's functional and non-functional requirements. Functional means the functionality of the system. Non-functional would be things like its scalability, its performance, its percent uptime that's needed, its security, privacy, data privacy, things like that. So anyway, this was the Business Analyst Bootcamp.